Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Mr. Cobalt, and in this video I'm going to be going over some examples of how to derive the equalities using your metric prefixes. So here we're going to look at derived units using your metric prefixes, and so let's get into this. So the first thing I want to start off with is how to set up your equality with the metric units. And so this is going to require that you have memorized your metric prefixes and the multiplier that they stand for. So this is really important. So if you don't have these memorized, you need to go back and memorize those and make sure you have those memorized. So without any further ado, let's get into this. So for example, if I want to set up an equality between the base unit and certain unit with a metric prefix, then what I'm going to do first is there's a couple of ways to do this. What I like to do is when I set up the equality between the base unit and the unit that has the prefix multiplier, like here I have meters and kilometers, um, I always like to put the one with the base with the unit that has the prefix. So here we have meter, kilometer. Kilo is the prefix, so I'm going to put a 1 with the kilometer. So I put the 1 there. And then on the other side, since I know that what kilo means, right, you need to know what the multiplier is. Since I have the prefix kilo here, and you'll notice I don't have a prefix here. So on the other side, what I do is, since I know that kilo is 1,000 or 10 to the third, this means that a kilometer is the base unit times 10 3 times, right? So, or times 1,000. So basically, since I don't have a prefix over here, I'm going to substitute that prefix with the number 10 to the third, right? So 10 to the third over here. So instead of having kilo on this side, I just have 10 to the third, which is what kilo means. Kilo means 1,000, right? So in order to get a kilometer, I have to multiply the meter, the base unit, by 1,000. So here's my equality. Now, what if you wanted the other way around? Look, what if instead of having the 1 on this side, I have 1 meter? Well, you can set it up this way first, and then if you want to switch the 1 to the other side, you can then take this and put it on the other side. But when you do that, you need to change the sign. So here, let's put the 1 with the base unit. So if you want to put the 1 with the base unit, that's fine too. But if you take the prefix multiplier, which is 1,000, and you put it with the unit that has the kilo or the unit prefix already there, the metric prefix already there, then you got to change the sign of the number. So instead of 10 to the third, it would be 10 to the negative 3 there. So now we have the equality that is equal to this one. So this equality is true, and it's equal to this equality as well. So that's the way you want to set up your equalities. So, but my preference is I put a 1 with the unit that has the prefix, and then I put the prefix multiplier on the other side with the base unit. But if you don't have that option, if you're given an option where you need to use 1 with the base unit, then remember that you just take the multiplier that's related to the prefix and then put that with the prefix unit, but you got to change the sign. So if the sign of the exponent is what I'm referring to. So the sign of the exponent here, it's positive, so you would have to change it to a negative. If the prefix multiplier has a negative exponent, then you've got to change that to a positive if you're going to put it with the unit that has the prefix already there. So you can kind of think of that as, since the prefix means 1,000, and here you're doing 10 to the negative 3, you could think of it as canceling out the k, right? So 1,000 times 10 to the negative 3 cancels out, and you end up with just meter. So you can kind of think of it as that way. You can think of it in those terms if that helps. Okay, so with that out of the way, hopefully that is a good explanation of how to set up your equalities. Let's go ahead and do some example problems. So here I have some units that have prefixes with them, and so we're going to complete the equality by writing the number that goes in front of the base unit. So again, what's really important here is that you know what the prefix multipliers are that go with the prefix that you have in your unit. So here is gigagram. So here we have giga. So giga, excuse me. Sorry about that. So giga, you have to understand, oh, well, what is giga? Giga has a prefix multiplier. If you don't know what the prefix multiplier is, then you can't complete the equality, right? So you need to know what the prefix means, and you need to know what the multiplier is. So here, giga is going to be 10 to the ninth, right? So it's 1 billion. That's what giga means. If you're a computer geek, or you don't even have to be a computer geek these days to know what a gigabyte is. You've heard of gigabytes, you've heard of megabytes and things like that. But here, so giga is a billion. That's what it refers to. So 10 to the 9 is a billion. So gigagram is going to be a billion grams, or 10 to the 9 grams, just like a gigabyte is 10 to the 9 bytes of data, right? So then we would write 10 to the 9 there. And again, if it was 1 gram and the blank was over here, if we had the blank over here and we had 1 over here, then we would do the same thing, but this time 1 gram. In this blank over here, we would just write the prefix multiplier, but we would change the sign to -9. So it would be 10 to the -9 gigagrams. So 1 gram over here would be equal to 10 to the -9 gigagrams. Okay. So what about B? So 1 centimeter is equal to how many meters? Well, we have the prefix centi. So we need to know what the multiplier is. Centi is 1/100th, or 10 to the -2. So that means we would put 10 to the -2 over there. So 1 centimeter is equal to 10 to the -2 meters. And again, if we wanted to flip it, if we wanted to put the 1 over here with the base unit, then we would put the multiplier over here. And then we would have to change the sign of the exponent. So that would be a +2. So over here would be 1, not 1, I'm sorry. It would be 10 to the 2 meters. And that would be equal to, I'm sorry, we would put 1 over here. So 1 meter would be equal to 10 to the 2, or 100 centimeters. Okay. All right. Well, what about nanometers? 1 nanometer is that equal to how many meters? So we would underline nano. We need nano is the prefix. We need to know the multiplier for nano. In this case, nano is the opposite of giga. So nano is 1 billionth of a meter. So 1 nanometer is going to be equal to 10 to the -9. So this is the equality between nanometers. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the -9 meters. And again, if we wanted to put the 1 with the base unit, we would bring the 10 to the -9. So if we wanted to switch these numbers around, if we wanted to put the 1 over here and we want to put this over here, we could do that, but we would have to change the sign of the exponent. So 1 meter would be equal to 10 to the +9 nanometers. So for D, megagram, so mega, I talked about mega just a moment ago. So 1 megagram is equal to how many grams? So mega in this case is 1 million, 10 to the 6. So that means that 1 megagram is going to be equal to 10 to the 6 grams. Or again, if we wanted to switch the numbers around, you could put 1 with the base unit. So 1 gram would be equal to 10 to the negative 6 megagrams. And then finally, milli. So we have milliliter is equal to how many liters? Milli is 10 to the negative 3. It's 1/1000th of a base unit. So here we're talking about liters. So here we would write 10 to the negative 3. And once again, if we wanted to switch these numbers, I could put the 1 over here with the base unit liter, but then I would have to move this over here, but I would have to change the sign of the prefix, I'm sorry, the sign of the exponent. So here would be 10 to the third. So 1 liter is equal to 10 to the third, or 1,000 milliliters. So I hope that's helpful in helping you to understand how to write the equalities of metric units to their base unit. So if that was helpful, then please, by all means, like my video, hit that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel. Make sure when you hit that notification bell above that you hit the all, so that you be notified by all the videos I put out. And finally, put a comment down below in the comment section. Let me hear from you. I would love to hear from you. Ask me questions. I would love to answer them. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.